Chapter 13. A Subject for a Composition. Ralph was the hero in the mouse hole that night. His admiring relatives gathered around, begging to hear the story of his adventures. Ralph could not help begging and bragging a little as he told the story of his travels, beginning with the search of the second floor rooms, skipping to the part about the teacher trapping him under a drinking glass, and ending with Keith taking the aspirin and finally falling asleep. But are you sure it was an aspirin tablet? Ralph's mother could always find something to worry about. Are you sure it wasn't some kind of pin? Keith put it under the bedside table and refused to take it until his mother saw it, explained Ralph. At first his mother and father got pretty excited and thought he was out of his mind from the fever when he started telling them there was an aspirin on the table, and when he saw the pill and could tell from the letters that it was really an aspirin, they decided that the nightclub must have found it and brought it up. They thought the windows were out so much they did not hear us knock. I am so proud of you, said his mother with a sigh of relief, while his brothers and sisters and cousins stared at him with shining eyes. Good job, Ralph. I didn't know you could do it, said Uncle. Good job, Ralph. I didn't know you could do it, said Uncle Lester heartily. I feel much better about room service now that we have lived an aspirin for a tip, said Ralph's mother. I feel that at last, we have done the right thing. Oh, well, big brother, said Aunt Susie. Yes, growing up, agreed his mother with a sad note in her voice. It's hard to believe. It seemed only yesterday with a tiny big box without any hair. Naturally, this embarrassed Ralph, but now that his mother finally admitted he was growing up, he decided to make the most of this moment. Now, gonna go down to the first room by myself, he said eagerly. I'll see, said his mother, looking worried once more. Nonsense, said Uncle Lester. Of course you may go. Ralph has shown that he can be a very responsible mouse. I guess you are right, agreed Ralph's mother nervously. Oh boy, exclaimed Ralph. There it again, how you climbed down the vine and I will nearly attack you, begged the cousin. No, tell us again how the yam got stuck in a crack, said another. No, tell us about where you got the dog to bark, pleaded a third. The only flaw in the evening for Ralph was the fact that had he not found the motorcycle on his travels through the motel, Keith slept soundly, and the next morning, although he still had a temperature, Ralph was pleased to see he was feeling better. Do you hurt any place? Mrs. Gribbly asked anxiously, after she had given his son an aspirin bought by the milkman. Is your throat sore? Does your stomach ache? Keith just shook his head. I just feel sort of tired. He's going to be all right. He must have picked up a bug somewhere, said Miss Gridley to her husband. I'm tired. Will steady up, do it, and he'll be on his feet again. Mr. Gridley nodded. You feel like eating any breakfast? He asked Keith. We can order something from you, from room service. Keith threatened. "And I really have something set up for room service?" he asked, and when his father assured he could, he slumped back onto the pillow. "I'm not hungry." Some orange juice will be good for you," suggested his mother. "All right," agreed Keith, and then he added, as if he suddenly had an inspiration, and bacon and toast and jelly. Your appetite seems to have come back in a hurry," remarked Mr. Gridley, as he picked up the telephone and asked to be connected with room service to order. He sought breakfast with his son. As soon as the adults have gone, well, pop out into the room. "Ah," said Keith. "Thanks a lot for the aspirin. It really helped." "That's all right," answered Ralph modestly. "Where'd you find it?" Keith was curious to know. "Under the dresser, or down on the first floor." "First floor?" Keith could not believe it. Who'd you manage to get it up there? Once more Ralph told the story of his night's adventure, skipping the part about the drinking glass, but making it as sound if you knew escape the horny talons of the owl as he traveled down the vine. "Golly!" Keith was amazed at Ralph's story. "You know what? You're a pretty smart mouse and a brave one too." "It was nothing," said Ralph in an offhand manner. "Nothing. It was plenty. You risked your life." The boy's admiration and gratitude had Ralph feel even prouder of what he had done. "I'm glad you're on the whole," he said, wanting Keith to know how responsible he was. "You're both for farming. See it and bring it back in when he come back." "That reminds me. You didn't happen to see my motorcycle in the place, did you?" Keith's question was unexpected. "Well, no, I didn't." Well, suddenly thought this prominent, but I didn't have time to look. "Yeah, I know." Keith was sympathetic. "I just would." A knock on the door sent Ralph scurrying to the knothole. Come in," said Keith. Matt ended the lecture. "Sure, here you are, and here's your evidence. I found it out in the hole," he said as he set the tray across Keith's knees. "Sorry to see you under the weather." "Thank you. I'll be all right." Keith handed Matt a coin his father had left for a tip. "And thanks for bringing it in my ambulance." Matt pocketed the coin. "Thank you," he said. "By the way, this doesn't happen to be yours, does it?" He picked up the little motorcycle from the pocket. Ralph was so excited he almost fell out of the knothole. "Hey!" Keith sat up straight, knocking the orange juice on his tray. "It sure is. Where'd you find it?" "On a hump of religion that I followed. And true by months or mouse. It had fell out when the housekeeper was showing us the damage that had been done. I picked it up before anyone noticed it." "Gee, thanks a lot." Keith accepted the motorcycle and then set it on his tray. "It's my favorite. I did like using it." "I wonder how it got into the hamper of Newton," mused Matt. Keith grinned but said nothing. Old man rubbed his chin and stared at the ceiling. You don't suppose a certain irresponsible mouse happened to run it into a pile of sheets and pillowcases and got it tangled up and dumped into the hamper? Keith tried not to laugh. I don't know any responsible mouse, he said. Only one responsible mouse. Say, how'd you guess? There isn't much around this hotel that escaped my attention, said Matt. I saw that moose out in the hall with a little motorcycle. Oh, you imagine he's a regular speed demon. Well, Ralph could no longer stay out of the conversation. I'm fast, but I'm careful. I'm fast, but I'm careful. I haven't been in an accident yet, he boasted, and added hastily, calling his phone into the wastebasket. At least not since I learned to ride the motorcycle. If there was anything I considered it to be most, replied Matt good-naturedly, would be a call getting tangled up in a lot of lane. What I mean is, I didn't crap at the motorcycle, said Matt, Ralph with dignity. He's not chicken, defended Keith. You're brave. You aren't gonna tell the management about him, aren't you? What's the use? Said Matt. If they get rid of this place, we'll move in. Anyway, he's a cute little fellow. It cheers me up just to think of him driving around on a little motorcycle. If only I could, thought Ralph. There followed an unusually pleasant day for the mice. Keith stuffed the bacon and toast and jelly for the naho. The mice feasted on the bacon and the jelly before the dance could begin, and stole the toast up against the rudely approved time when Keith must leave the hotel. They slept all morning when Keith alternately napped and played with his cards. For lunch, they enjoyed peanut butter sandwiches again. Ralph did not sleep that afternoon. He found himself thinking of the tantalizing glimpse he had had of the ground floor and of all the opportunities it offered. Mice, crumbs in the dining room, leftovers in the kitchen, scraps in the garbage. He lay daydreaming on a pile of shredded Kleenex. He could see himself on the first floor, pilfering crumbs in the dining room at night after the guests were in bed, and from the dining room he would go to the kitchen right past the night clerk, who was sure to be asleep. If only he could make the trip on the motorcycle. The thought of the motorcycle put an end to Ralph's daydream and makes it impossible. After tossing about on his bed of Kleenex, he got up and poked his head out of the knothole. Keith was awake, lying back on the pillows, with his cards beside him. He was smiling grandly at Ralph. "How you feeling?" asked Ralph. "Sorta tired," answered Keith. Ralph climbed through the hole. "Where are your folks?" "They went out for a while. They'll be back. I'm supposed to take a nap." What are you going to?" asked Ralph. "I'd rather talk to you." Keith leaned over and took the motorcycle on the floor. "Want to ride it?" he asked. "Do I want to ride it?" Ralph could scarcely believe he had heard correctly. "You mean you let me? Ain't that the way I lost it for you?" "You prove you can be responsible when you brought me the aspirin," explained Keith. "You're more grown up." "Thanks," said Ralph modestly. I guess mice grew up. I guess mice grew up faster than boys. Keeps on it. I thought he'd long to grow as rapidly as an mouse. You grow up a little bit every day. Well said as he removed his crash helmet from its hiding place behind the curtain. I guess you're right, agreed Keith. My dad measures me every 6 months against the door jam of a kitchen back in an aisle. And each month he makes me feel higher than the last, but I never feel myself growing. You ain't long enough, and you'll be a grown-up. Well felt as if he had said something very wise as he slipped the rubber band on his crash helmet around his whiskers. I guess so. Keith slumped back on the pillows. But it takes so long. I grew up, didn't I? Asked Ralph. You said yourself I became a responsible mouse. Yes, you did, said Keith thoughtfully. I guess that's part of the secret. Just getting bigger isn't enough. You have to learn things like not taking up down a steep hill on a bicycle when you aren't used to handbrakes, stuff like that. Ralph walked with a slight swagger to the motorcycle, grabbed the hand grips, and threw his legs across the seat. He remembered to pick up his tail before it started. He took up across the carpet and circled around the room, covering the rough parts under the dresser and chair, and coming to the hump beside the bed. She had his gone on the rough floor. Well, said Ralph with authority. She's a really fine machine. Say Ralph, said Keith, suddenly sitting up. How would you like to come with me when we leave the hotel? Come with you? Ralph was stunned. He had expected to live and die in the Mountain View Inn, and now he was being offered the opportunity to travel that he had dreamed of. Yeah, yes. Come with me to San Francisco and then back to Ohio. Well, the motorcycle. If he went with Keith, he would not have to be separated from the motorcycle. Keith must have been incensed. Ralph's thoughts because he said, "You could ride the motorcycle every day." Ralph was silent. He had begun to think about other things. His family, the permission he had earned to visit the ground floor, Keith's family, and how they might feel about him else. Come on, Ralph, said Keith. You could travel in my pocket. Your mother doesn't care for me. Ralph pointed out. Not running around loose, agreed Keith. But if she let me keep a couple of white mice once, I still have a cage at home, you could be very comfortable in it. Comfortable in a cage? Ralph was horrified. No, thank you. Well, come on. Would you want to be shut up in a cage? Demanded Ralph. Oh no, but neither would I, said Ralph. Especially now that I can finally go to the ground floor. In his disappointment, Keith slumped back under the pillows once more. I guess you really wouldn't want to come, he said. I understand. I sure will hate to see a motorcycle leave, said Ralph. And added hastily, and you too, of course. The boy and the mouse was silent. both were thinking of their wishes and their regrets. That the wishes would not come true. Keith rolled over on his side and propped his head up on his fist. "Would you like to keep the motorcycle?" he asked. "Keep it? Me?" said Keith. "Sure," said Keith. "I can see from my allowance to buy another one when we get back to Ohio." "You really mean it?" Ralph could secretly hold his continuous excitement. "Keep it for the very own." "Of course." "How come?" Ralph wanted to know. "I just like to think of you riding it," said Keith. "You know, if you grow up enough to be trusted with a mouse-sized motorcycle, then maybe someday I could learn a big one." Keith next time trained out around. "I can't. I don't have any place to keep it. It's too big to go through the nut hole and the cut and hide behind the curtain forever. Because I heard that after Labor Day, when there aren't many tourists, they take the curtains down to be cleaned." "That is a problem," agreed Keith. There must be some place in a big hotel like this where you could keep a motorcycle." Ralph sat on the motorcycle thinking as hard as he could. In the closet, he couldn't get it out when the door was closed. Under the bed, eventually it would be found. "How about downstairs?" suggested Keith. "I could carry it down for you before we leave. There must be a good hiding place down there somewhere." "There's that big old clock there in Sister Reno," said Ralph thoughtfully. Nobody ever cleans under it, but anyway, I don't have it striking over my head." Keith thought a while. "How about that big television set in the lab there?" he asked. "The noise shouldn't bother you because you would only go under it at night when everyone was asleep." "Yes!" Ralph was excited. "That's a perfect garage. I saw when I got the aspirin. The legs are just as high enough for the motorcycle, but not quite high enough for a vacuum cleaner attachment." "In it sealed," said Keith, and then asked rather sternly. Ralph thought, "But first you must ask your mother." Ralph dismounted and ran to the knot hole. He was gone several minutes before he could return to announce in triumph. "Here, she says I can keep the motorcycle if I promise to drive carefully and wear my crash helmet every single time I ride it." "Swell!" Keith was just excited as Ralph. "When you check out and had it for you while my folks are busy paying the bill." "I can't thank you enough." Ralph was fascinated. Ralph fastened his crash helmet once more. "I never thought I would have a motorcycle of my very own." Keith lay back on the pillow and smiled at the mouse mounting the motorcycle. "It'll be fun thinking of you riding around that big old lobby when I'm back in Ohio. This way to go to school. And when the teacher asked us to write a composition about a summer vacation, I could write about me and that brave mouse named Ralph who rode a little motorcycle. I'll tell about your bringing the aspirin, except I have to call it a pill because I can't spell aspirin. Of course, the teacher won't believe it, but she'll probably share a show imagination." Ralph felt proud to think he was going to win about a competition in a far island. He grabbed his tail, got the motor, and took off, heading for the threadbare part of the carpet that made such a good speedway. Round and round he spun, faster and faster, until his whiskers blew back, and he was filled with joy and speed. He longed to wave to Keith, but he realized a good driver must keep both paws on the key hand grip. He glanced up and noticed that Keith's eyes were closed. The boy had fallen fast asleep with a smile on his face. Ralph dragged his heels to wake the motorcycle. Quietly he parked it behind the bed and quietly removed the crash helmet and hid it behind the curtain. He did not want to disturb the sleeping boy. Ralph could wait to ride his motorcycle. It was his to keep.